Dancing shows dominating the reality landscape. It's time to look back and see where these trends started. We're not going to try to explain where shows like Flavor of Love or Mr. Personality came from, but shows like American Idol and Dancing with the Stars have deep roots.
This is the new form of variety. Everybody says variety is dead. It's not. It's just now showcased in reality.
That's right, variety is back, and network executives are embracing it with shows like Nashville Star.
We're kind of looking at the show a little bit more of a variety show. So where we'll have the roller coaster of, who's going to be the Nashville Star. We'll also see a little bit of comedy, a little bit of music, and really embrace the country music world as a whole.
Right now, there's a big appetite for this type of variety reality. I think it's going to stay strong in 2006.
The golden era of variety was in the 1950s and 60s, and one of the first variety shows on television was the original Amateur Hour, which actually started on the radio.
The original Amateur Hour discovered about 50 major stars. The most famous of them would be Frank Sinatra,
You'll make the whole world shine.
Anne Margaret, Pat Boone, people like that.
But today's variety reality shows are different.
They're really more focused into a monodirectional type of entertainment, just as being only singing on American Idol or only dancing. A lot of the old traditional types of variety acts, there's no longer an avenue for them. I mean, these days, if somebody wanted to be a ventriloquist or play the saw or be a juggler, where do you go?
But star-making potential is where the variety of yesterday and today are similar.
There's always that kid someplace around the corner with that dream that one day they're going to become the next Kelly Clarkson or the next Frank Sinatra.
And that's why audiences love it.
It gives them a sense of empowerment. And it's also a thrill later then for them to be able to see a famous person up on the stage and say, gee, I voted for that person when they were a nobody. Look at them now. I helped make them a star.
I know how it feels. I tried to make Justin Guarini a star. I voted for him twice. Roth is a true reality TV renaissance man, TV host, narrator of The Biggest Loser, and producer of such reality TV sensations as Beauty and the Geek and The Biggest Loser and Breaking Bonaducci. Well, Survivor's Jerry Manthe headed out to meet the man behind the hits.
Thanks, Kennedy. J.D. Roth went from child actor to game show host and then to successful television executive. I had the opportunity to sit down with him and talk to him about his journey. J.D. started out in front of the camera as a kid in commercials, but he knew early on that he wanted to do more.
I knew I wasn't going to look like, Opie forever. And, you look at guys like Ron Howard and people who really aspired to be more, and they did it. And so I really wanted to be part of the ownership side.
So when he was 19 and hosting a children's game show called Fun House, he asked Warner Brothers to let him take the show on the road.
And they said, you're 19, just do your show, leave us alone, And I bugged and bugged and bugged, and a year later, they gave me the rights. And they didn't think that I would do anything, and I sold it in 70 cities around the country.
J.D. says that tour put him on the map and gave him the opportunity to start producing.
It was really about being turnkey. So a network would say, we want you to host a show. Because at the time, that's what I did. So I would say, well, hey, better yet, why don't you let me pitch you a show, and I'll host that one.
In 2001, J.D. co-founded 3 Ball Productions. They produced several shows, including the kids show Endurance, which J.D. also hosts. He says all of the shows they do are about 2 things.
We've always been about heart and telling a good story. All of our shows, Beauty and the Geek, it has heart. It's real. Biggest Loser has heart. Even Breaking Bonaducci, if you really break it down, is about a guy who's got a lot of heart and who's struggling with a lot of demons and trying to be a good person. And he needs someone to help him do that.
Good storytelling is where J.D. says a lot of reality producers drop the ball.
The problem is the genre exploded so fast, anyone who even thought they knew what they were doing was selling a show. And so, to me, things like the interview bite, they just use those bites as the narrative to get them from point A to point B. When I got to the house and I got out of my car, boy was I scared. I mean, that's not telling a story, you know? And if you use the interview bite the right way, which I think, you know, Mark Burnett uses and hopefully we use, it's a way to express and move the story forward versus a crutch to get you from a narrative one point to the next.
Besides telling a good story, JD also tries to create shows that change people's lives.
Biggest Loser is a great example. It's a total transformation. And to give someone their life back is an incredible gift, you know, which on that show several times it seems like we have.
But at the end of the day, for JD, it's all about family.
I really just want to be with my wife and my kids. This has never been about being in Hollywood or being, you know, a star. It's never been about that. This is a hard business to be in. It chews people up and spits them right out. And so you have to, you got to be careful along the way, because in the end you want to be left with your family, not with a TV show.
So there you have it. Life lessons in reality television according to J.D. Roth. Back to you, Kennedy.
Next up for JD is Fountain of Youth, pairing college students with senior citizens on a cross-country race. Down to see what's so funny about the Hollywood auditions for Last Comic Standing.
Hey Kennedy, we're here at the Hollywood Improv where some of the funniest people from Los Angeles have all gathered to audition for the Last Comic Standing Talent Scouts. So let's start joking around.
About 2,000 people showed up for the open call. They waited hours and some even camped out overnight on the street.
I got here at 3:30 and I'm number 111.
I came here at 5:30.
If I was thinking, I would have brought a bunch of booze and had a much better time.
Staying the night for 12 hours, the guy next to me peed his pants, it's all good.
Inside, talent scouts Ross, Mark, and Bob Reed are the ones who decide which comics are good enough for the show.
They're also shooting a reality show. What's the balance between comedy and a good reality character?
I don't think I'm really looking for a reality character.
All I care about is what they do on stage.
Yeah.
They do the same. I mean, we're not really looking at personality off stage. I could care less.
That's what our bosses said. Find somebody that's funny on stage. That's all you have to worry about.
Is anything going to be different this year? Are the people going to be living together again? Because that was a nice dynamic.
I hear that they are, and I hear they have a big surprise where they're going to be living, some world-famous landmark.
I'm watching the Olympics right now, and if I see an ice skater fall, I know to deduct points. How is it to judge comedy?
I can tell you right now what we deduct for. We deduct for Dick Cheney jokes and Brokeback Mountain jokes, because that's all we've heard all day long. Dick Cheney and Brokeback Mountain. Maybe if you put those together, then you might have something original.
I convinced Ross and Bob to let me try out my material.
No, we don't shake.
I don't touch your hand. Who knows what that's been?
Better be good. Tell us your name, where you're from, get right into it.
My name is Mark Wong. I'll spare you the joke, but this was their reaction.
Tell them
well, you know these jokes supposed to be funny, right?
Can you get off the stage? We have another comic.
Get the hell out of here.
I appreciate it. Back outside, everyone thought they had what it takes to be the last comic standing.
I'm likable, I'm funny, have a great smile.
I'm willing to do anything. I'm so serious about comedy. I'll die for comedy. Comedy is my god.
I tell really exciting, sexy stories. Things like how to have sex with rubber chickens, for instance.
I'm crunk. I'm the coolest.
But that wasn't necessarily the case.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you.
We don't feel you're ready for our show, but thanks for coming in. Jason, thanks for coming in.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Okay, Steve, I'm stopping you right there.
Brian, stop. My ears are bleeding right now. Please, stop.
Oh, that's not right for our show,
but thanks for coming in. Carl, I'm getting depressed watching your act.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Damn!
I asked Ross and Bob how many people from the open auditions they would end up calling back.
Maybe 1%.
3 years.
Not everybody can be funny.
Pardon me. I was wondering if you could help me find me Lucky Charms. I've lived in different places. I lived in Central America, I lived in North Dakota, and now I'm living in debt. With a broom.
Well, it's been a laugh a minute here, but like they say, always leave them wanting more. Back to you in the studio, Kennedy.
Thanks, Mark. Very funny.